Hello UK Burger, Mike here. I understand you're talking about ADHD and pills and whether or not they work. Got to be careful going down the line of they don't work, do they, viewers? I would suggest. I have suffered at various times quite considerable depression in my life, and a lot of people then said to me, are you sure you want to be on pills? Or wouldn't therapy do it? Done therapy, done a hell of a lot of therapy, and to some extent it helped, but with some things that are actually brain disorders, and it's arguable at the moment whether ADHD is. But depression, for instance, is to do with electrical signals in the brain, and sometimes in order for that to be treated, pills are very necessary. And in fact, one should always listen to their doctor, because in that instance, and possibly, I don't know, but possibly with some areas of ADHD, it may be the case where to stop medication without seeking advice would be a very dangerous thing to do. It certainly would be for depressive people. Now, I have a nephew who has Asperger's, which is high spectrum autism, and he, as far as I'm aware, actually isn't on medication, but he does have some behavioural problems. They're not all to do with hyperactivity, but they're definitely behavioural problems. He's quite a bright boy and he can learn, but he has to be able to be in the class for long enough. ADHD and HADHD are often symptoms of autism, and people could do a lot worse than go onto the National Autistic Society's website and join the campaign to help people think differently. Now, the website is www.think-differently.org.uk, and there is a petition that you can sign on there in order to agree and put pressure on for people to think differently about particularly children with autism, because it is not a panacea for kids with autism just to be dumped into mainstream schools. Most, I would argue, who have autism would need statement, as money appears to be tight with social services in whatever county, but particularly here in Kent. Children who require statements are not getting them. A statement means that extra money is provided for that child so that they can have one-to-one attention from a teaching assistant in order to help them through any difficulties they may be having. So I believe that this should be made very much easier for parents with children with autism, and therefore provide schools with the money that they need, the extra money that they need, in order to incorporate children with Asperger's or other sorts of autism into mainstream schools. But although, I hear what you're saying about the pills, but you've got to be a bit careful on that front, I would suggest. But certainly you know, it's good. You've done well raising it. I think raising important issues. So, as I say, I'm Mike, and I used to be a Lib Dem, and who knows, one day I might be again. But they've got to get their act together, which they haven't for a really rather long time. Anyway, I hope you don't mind my reply. I'm not in any way trying to belittle what you've done, anything like that, but I have had quite a bit of experience in the area of medication, and particularly depression, I'm sorry to say. And whether there's anybody with medical knowledge looking at this who'd like to add their two pennyworth, I would recommend you do. All I would say to anybody is talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about, i.e. a medical practitioner, before you stop taking medication, prescribed medication. Alright, okay. You take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.